All right, here we are. Wow, this is crazy. This is really the first real stream of the offseason, in my opinion. I know I did do one stream after the Super Bowl, but that was kind of just, connecting loose ends a little bit, reacting to my old previous takes from the previous season, all that fun stuff, right? Playing a little bit of Madden, wrapping things up, right? Saying goodbye to White County. But here we go. It's a new era, it's a new season. Let's do this. We are live from Fargo. Crazy day today in the NFL world, right? Off season, starting to get into full swing here. We've got a lot to talk about, man. I'm excited for this one. Fired up to get back into it. I've had a crazy couple of weeks, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But it's been exciting. It's been fun. There's been a lot going on, but it's nice to just settle down a little bit. I feel like, all right, I've got my setup back, right? We're seated. I'm down here in the guest room of my parents' house, my childhood home, and we're going to have a time, man. We're going to have a time. I'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. But as you guys know the drill, right? If you're in here, feel free to say hello in chat. Good to have some people in here. Look at that already. We got two people in here. We got Henry and Jack in here. Let's go. Thank you guys for tuning in here on this nice Wednesday night. Good to have you guys in here. Henry saying, evening, Eric. How's your week been going so far? It's been going pretty good. First, 72 hours in Fargo now, something like that, maybe a little bit more than that. I got in Sunday night. I had a crazy couple of weeks with the move and everything. I had an epic cross-country road trip. I'm sure you know a thing or two about that, but no, it's been good. I've been enjoying my time off a little bit, right? I've been door dashing just to get outside, touch some grass, save up a little bit of money. Been catching up with family and friends, eating some good food as always. It's been good, man. I can't complain. A little bit of a transition phase right now, right? Trying to find my next spot, but it's been good, man. And football. I mean, football has certainly been happening. Crazy off season, and as Jack is alluding to already in here, saying I already hate this off season. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that's tough. It's been a tough off season for the Seahawks so far. Tyler Lockett getting cut, I mean, that's brutal, right? I mean, from a football standpoint, you kind of have to understand it, but still, I mean, it stinks to see 10-year vet go out the door, right? He's been there for a long time. By all accounts, just a great dude. He's had a great career, right? And then the bombshell, DK Metcalf requesting a trade. That broke earlier this afternoon. I'm looking at the ESPN page right now. I mean, seriously, it has been like an insane day already for the offseason. I'm looking at the top headlines here. Let me show you. We'll get into this more here in a little bit. But, I mean, the crazy thing that happened this morning, right? Joe Thuney getting traded to the Bears, that's all the way down near the bottom because there's just been so much that has happened in the past, I don't know, 18 hours, something like that. 12 hours. I mean, yeah, like I woke up and I'm on Twitter and I see like 3 minutes ago, Adam Schefter tweeting about Joe Thuney getting traded. I'm like, wait, I was not aware that there was a Joe Thuney trade situation on the horizon. But yeah, so we're going to talk about some of that news. We're going to dive into some of the free agents, break down the class a little bit, kind of match make some free agents to some teams that I'd like to see. Just general off-season talk, right? I know we had the combine last week, all that stuff. Not quite draft season for me yet. I will say I'm starting to watch a lot more of the prospects, and that's been fun. Shout out Caddy's Cut Up. Got the Caddy's Cut Up subscription. Been watching some all 22 of some prospects. I watched a few these past couple of days, but I don't know. For me, I like to wait till the dust settles in free agency to really get into like mock drafts and stuff, right? For me, it's better to see what teams actually need, but I am starting to dive into some of the prospects, so that's been pretty fun. I'm not an expert by any means, right? Sometimes like I was watching Tet McMillan the other day, right? I'm just like, yeah, he runs his routes pretty smooth. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, his footwork, like the way that he plants his foot on this step instead of this step. Like I'm not quite there yet, but we're getting there. It's been a progress. It's been a process. Wow, but. We got Nick in here too. Let's go. Say, hey, what's poppin'? Not much, man. I'm back in Fargo, back in North Dakota. Hey, shout out North Dakota. Am I right? But yeah, it's been good. Weather's been a little bit chilly. It's been very windy here. That's been an adjustment. I've got the hoodie on right now, but I've been good, man. How about you? Good to have you back in here, though. Crazy off season so far. And right on cue, Henry asking, do I think the Seahawks will honor DK's request? That's a great question, honestly, because here's the thing. Man, you look at that Seattle receiver room, right? Let's pull this up on our lads here right now. That's a great question. I haven't really given that much thought yet. I just see like, oh, he requested a trade, so he's gone, right? Doesn't always necessarily work like that. Not always quite as cut and dry. The interesting thing, right? So obviously JSN, I think it's fair to say like he's just become the top guy in Seattle, right? He's a dude. I mean, it's 2025. You can have a slot receiver be your number one, right? I don't think there's any issue with that. It's definitely nice to have DK on the outside though as a complement. And obviously they got rid of Tyler Lockett. The truth is, man, if they do trade DK, all of a sudden their pass catching group isn't exactly very inspiring, right? I mean, Noah Fant, I don't know. He just hasn't quite hit what people thought he could become, right? And then it's JSN and Jake Bobo and Cody White. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't feel great about that. They already have a bunch of needs along the offensive line, too. So I get like, oh, well, you could just draft a receiver, right? But to me, if I'm Seattle, I would not want to have to worry about addressing the receiver position when you have such an obvious need up front, right? I mean, there's like 3 spots that you'd probably want to replace in a perfect world on that line, right? So I get the marriage has not always been perfect with DK. I mean, there's been, I was thinking about this earlier, right? This is not me seeing DK's a bad person. He seems like a nice guy, right? But there's some like effort concerns and stuff like that and buy-in concerns. And there's been some times where he's maybe sold Geno and ran the wrong route and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough he's still a very good player. It'd be tough to part with him, you know? I feel like he wouldn't fetch a first rounder. If you're Seattle and you could get a second, I'd think about it. But man, you got to have a good contingency plan. You got to be like, okay, there's this receiver in round 2 we feel great about that we know we can get to replace him, right? I don't think you can go into the season with just JSN as like, that's it. That's our receiver room, right? And you can't go into the season with this offensive line. I like this Seattle team. I honestly do. I like what they're building. I think they've got a good core. I think they've managed the roster at least fairly well. I like what Mike McDonald did year 1. Obviously, I like Geno Smith. That was a whole conversation back in January on this channel. This complicates things, I won't lie. And I know there's always been rumors and rumblings, but him actually going out and requesting a trade, it complicates things a little bit. But yeah, that was a little surprising. I know there's some DK to the Packers rumors. Apparently those have been shot down. I have been trying to think of like what would be a good team for DK Metcalf. I think of like the Chargers maybe, right? They need an outside receiver. The Patriots need an outside receiver. Those are some teams that might come up later when we forecast some of these guys out there, because DK is not the only big name wide receiver out there. Not the only big name. But yeah, that's interesting. Good question, though. Good question. Jack saying DK really had to make it all about himself on a day to honor Lockett. That is true. That is true. That is actually kind of tough when you really think about it, right? Man, he could have just waited a day, right? He could have just waited one more day. That really did pull the rug underneath Lockett. I didn't even think about that, man. That is kind of unfortunate. Dang. I'm sorry, Jack. Hey, it's been a tough day for your Seahawks. I get that. Henry saying feels like the combine this year didn't have any hype at all. Yeah, you know, I mean, so many of these guys are like sitting out and not doing drills, right? And it's already not the greatest, sexiest class to begin with, right? I won't lie, I didn't watch a ton of the combine. I mean, some of it was I was on the road, you know, I was still following along. Math Bomb. I'm going to butcher his actual name. It's like Kentley Platt, I think, the RAS guy. Obviously, I was following him along a little bit, being like, oh, wow, Shamar Stewart did good. Oh, that South Carolina safety did really good, right? Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, just, you know, like not a lot of guys worked out. It was kind of a bummer, you know? I mean, like, obviously a lot of people talk about Shador, but it's like, man, like I wish Genty worked out a little bit more. I wish that Tyler Warren worked out, right? Cam Ward didn't really do a whole lot. And I'm for player empowerment, and I get it, right? They want to go to the pro day. They want to be in a comfortable environment and stuff. But, you know, I was listening to the Nate Tice's podcast, Football 301, and I like the point he made, though, right? It's like in the NFL, like, at the risk of sounding like an old man, you kind of just got to wake up and compete sometimes, right? It'll be week 13. It's a Wednesday. You're coming off 2 straight losses. You're sore everywhere. Like, you know what? That's not a sterile environment, but you got to go out there and have a good practice. So, but I get it to an extent. But yeah, it is still kind of a bummer, right? Let's bring the combine back. Jack saying DK is only 27, and if he wants out, we could definitely get a first. It is going to be interesting to see his market, right? I mean, you think about some of their previous receiver trades. How much did Amari Cooper fetch? Granted, he's a little bit younger, right? He could maybe fetch a late first. I mean, if you're the Chiefs, that would be a team too to watch out for, right? Chiefs have some receivers, but it's so congested in the middle, right? And they don't have that big body on the outside. I mean, I'm Mr. Chiefs apologist, right? I actually kind of like that fit. Chiefs give up their first for DK. They might need that first for their offensive line, though. They might need that first. We'll see. But I don't hate that move. If the Chiefs could do it for a second, I would do that if I was Brett Veach. But Nick saying, hell yeah, Fargo, North Dakota. It's been good, and this is a crazy offseason. Shout out Fargo. Oh, don't you know? Don't you know? Yeah, we got Wolf in here, too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Wolf. Good to have you in here. Asking thoughts on John Cena's heel turn. Yeah, so I've seen a little bit about that, right? And I'm admittedly not a big WWE person, so I don't fully know what that means. Heel turn means like he became the bad guy, more or less, right? I know like a lot of people are upset about it, I think, from what I've seen. Like people are like, isn't John Cena supposed to be the good guy, right? Like he wears jeans and he's the hero. That's kind of my knowledge on that situation a little bit. But it was a surprise and a shock. That's what I'll say. Henry saying times like these remind me that Mohamed Sanu fetched a second from the Pats. He did. That's crazy. I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe DK could get a first. But I will say, though, and I know there's a lot of pundits, analysts that say this, the trade market for players is always lower than you expect, right? And that is a perfect segue into talking about some of the stuff that went down today. You want to talk about maybe surprisingly low compensation. How about the bombshell from this morning? The Bears. Ben Johnson said, yeah, bro, we need an offensive line. The Bears have been making moves. Yesterday, they go get guard Jonah Jackson, spent a year with the Rams, had been with Ben Johnson before in Detroit. And today, the big swing, two-time All-Pro, and I believe he was first-team All-Pro this year, Joe Thuney, the guard, being traded to the Bears. And all it took was a 2026 fourth-round pick, very surprisingly low compensation. And I tweeted this out. I've given it some thought. I think this is a deal that makes sense for both teams. Now, on the surface level, I think it's very shocking for the Chiefs after what happened in the Super Bowl to give up offensive linemen, right? I mean, they just got completely battered up front. That is probably the biggest reason why they lost in the way that they did, right? And Joe Thuney, you could argue, was their best offensive lineman. I know he wasn't quite as good at left tackle, but also going from tackle to guard, or guard to tackle, is a big transition, right? No matter which way you slice it, he's a fantastic player, one of the best in the league at his position, right? However, it is fair to say, right, Joe Thuney has a big contract already, and my keyboard's not working. I have to move my keyboard closer to my computer. I've learned that. With the new setup, it's a little far away, right? Joe Thuney's on the last year of his contract, right? Okay, not quite as big of a deal as you might think, but it means that he's going to be due for a big extension soon, right? He's going to ask to reset the market. He's going to ask to, be probably the highest paid guard in the league, all that stuff, right? He will be 33 years old by the time that the season starts. He's still a very good player. I will say I'm starting to get to the point where I just kind of give the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt when it comes to trading vets, right? You know what? If the Chiefs think now is the time to move on from Thuney and this is their version of selling high and they don't want to pay him a bunch of money for, years where he's going to be 34, 35, 36 years old, stuff like that, I get it. They have a lot of work to do up front. They have a lot of work to do, and they have made it a little bit harder, right? But I get it. And for the Bears, I mean, come on, right? I mean, their interior offensive line was what really did them in last year. Caleb was under so much pressure, they couldn't really get the running game going consistently. Immediately now, they plug in one of the best guards in the league. They get at least a decent player in Jonah Jackson. I know he didn't play his best ball last year with the Rams, but he's had good years with Ben Johnson in Detroit, right? All right, let's get some competency in there. Let's improve this a little bit. And obviously, you have to imagine Ben Johnson, based off what he did with the Lions, they're going to prioritize running the ball, right? I honestly think my biggest takeaway from this trade is the Bears want Ashton Genty, right? They got 2 guards now. They still might not be done adding offensive linemen, but I don't know. I think they're sitting here thinking, let's go. We've got 2 linemen in the door already. We might not have to go line at 10. I don't know if Genty will be there at 10, but they might try and trade up for him or something like that. I think they're going to try and go for it, though, right? They want a new back in the door. But I think it's a good enough deal for both sides. I don't think that, this is going to make the Bears a Super Bowl team or anything, but it is a much-needed move. They are kind of in a win-now mode right now with Caleb being on his rookie deal and everything, and Poles is kind of GMing for his job a little bit. So I think it's a deal that makes sense for both sides. I do think that KC might be happy with the decision that they made 3 years from now, right? You just can't pay all these guys. And so I get we don't want to pay a guy a bunch of future money for past production. I get it. I could see the Joe Thuney contract aging poorly in 2 years. Now the Bears might not care 2 years from now, but I get it. But yeah, we got Sebastian in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Sebastian. Good to have you in here. Saying he's been made the GM of the Detroit Lions franchise. Dude, I missed that. Sorry, Brad Holmes. You've been replaced by Sebastian. That's crazy. Good for you, man. Saying hello, chat. Oh, there's the big announcement right there. That's awesome. Nick just followed me on Twitter. Appreciate it. Awesome. It's always good to see, right? Thank you. Jack asking if they can trade Amon-Ra and JMO to the Seahawks for Anthony Bradford. Oh, man. Sebastian saying, okay, so the QB is the most important position in football. So my plan is to simply sign every QB in the league. A little monopoly, right? I don't think they've outlawed that. Henry saying, this is such a deep running back class that I think it makes more sense for them to take an O lineman at 10 and get a running back on day 2. I could see that. That's true, right? And they'll have a high pick on day 2 as well. Maybe a Caleb Johnson or something like that. Here's what I will say, though. Yeah, they probably, like Caleb Johnson will probably be there. I don't know that a ton of running backs are going to be there on day 2. This is just my internal rumblings and kind of what I've heard from people that are actually plugged in, right? I'm no Tom Pelissero or Ian Rappaport or Jordan Schultz, right? I'm not getting into fights at Starbucks or anything. That was crazy, by the way. That was hilarious. But I do think we might see not a decent amount. We'll see a few backs taken in the first round this year. Genty will for sure be gone. I think Omarion Hampton will probably end up getting taken in the first round. Travion Henderson, I think, is a name to watch. He could maybe even sneak into the first round. And maybe Caleb Johnson, the guy from Iowa, too. We'll see. But I don't know. I think if they just really want to get a back in the door, right, and I think... Right, the NFL is a copycat league. They saw what happened with Saquon. They saw what happened with Derrick Henry. I think teams are starting to come back around a little bit on just investing in the running back position. I could understand, though, if they still want to go O-line at 10, we're just going to make this line great, right? The offensive line is what made the Detroit Lions offense go. We want to beef this up as much as possible, and then we'll get it back later. I don't think it's going to be DeAndre Swift, though. I mean, Ben Johnson would rather drink poison than have DeAndre Swift be his running back based off of how things kind of went down in Detroit. But I don't know. Maybe this is just me wouldn't it be so sick if Ashton Genty went to the Bears? Obviously, the Vikings fan in me isn't saying that, but we'll see. But I do see the vision with that too. But anything for clicks is in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream. Anything for clicks. Triple eagle emoji saying going back to back. Hey, y'all have a shot. That's another thing that happened today. Kind of flew under the radar, right? Zach Bond back to the Eagles. This makes a ton of sense, right? You figured they were going to get a deal done. Vic Fangio, I mean, he just absolutely maximized Bond. This dude was an unheralded edge rusher with the Saints, right? He was an unheralded edge rusher at Wisconsin, really. He didn't really pop out or anything. Then all of a sudden, this dude just goes to the Eagles. They turn him into an off-ball linebacker. You could have made an argument he was the best defensive player in football last season. If you wanted to tell me, hey, I voted Zach Bond for defensive player of the year, I'd been like, honestly, I get it. I'm not saying oh, he deserved it over Surtain or anything. I think Surtain was a great choice for the award, but If I had a vote, I think Bond would be in my top two. I would have either voted Bond or I would have had him second behind Sertan. This dude was ridiculous last year. And we saw it from right from the jump, really, right? If you go back to that stream that I had, it was the Packers-Eagles game in Brazil. I'm like, holy crap, who's this Zach Bond dude? He is everywhere. He played like that the entire year. He was one of the most important players on a Super Bowl championship roster. Totally makes sense for them to bring him back, right? And this is not me like talking crap about Zach Bond. I will say, like, Vic Fangio and the Eagles maximized him like I don't think any other team could. I mean, it just seems like a perfect match, right? He is a complete do-it-all. He can still blitz. He's been great in coverage. He's a dog against the run. $34 million guaranteed, right? That's a decent deal for a linebacker. It's funny. The Eagles, they kind of cut costs at linebacker a few years ago, came back to bite them. They learned their lesson. 3 years, $51 million. That's a good signing right there. Totally makes sense. I would have been shocked if Bond even made it to free agency. There's another Eagle that's out there right now that, hey, it'd be nice if he could maybe go to a team in purple. But we'll see about that. Sebastian asking, what's the lore of the Starbucks fight? So, if you missed it, last week in Indianapolis during the Combine, let's just pull this up here. Ian Rappaport, Jordan Schultz. Ian Rappaport Starbucks. That's the first thing that comes up. Let's go to awful announcing. So, we had a bit of an insider war last week, right? So Jordan Schultz, who is pretty much Fox Sports' version of Ian Rappaport, broke a story saying, hey, Tom Brady invited Matthew Stafford out to his ranch in Montana, and they spent the weekend together, right? Also known as, hey, Raiders minority owner invites player who is currently under contract with another team, but seeking trade options out to his home, and they buddied around for the weekend, right? Obvious tampering, obviously against the rules, right? Then Ian Rappaport steps in and says, no, you don't get it. They actually just ran into each other on accident. It was a complete coincidence. They were skiing in Montana, and they were standing in line, and Matthew Stafford's like, yo, it's Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's like, yo, it's Matthew Stafford, the quarterback we're trying to trade for. That's crazy. How do we run into each other on accident and not spend the entire weekend together? Jordan Schultz then stood on business and said, if you really believe this, I don't know what to tell you, man. And apparently, things got a little heated. They ran into each other. They confronted each other at a Starbucks in Indianapolis, right? This is during the Combine. All the media personnel and everyone are in Indianapolis. And they confronted each other. There's no punches thrown or anything. But here's the famous photo, right? You can see big, tall, alpha Jordan Schultz standing over, slouching Ian Rappaport. You could do the little green line test. That is the lore right there. One of the weirder off-season stories I've ever seen. I love a good insider fight. Sometimes you see it in the NBA, but we got one here. But oh man, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yo, chat is going off. I gotta catch up here. But that is the Starbucks lore right there. Marion Hampton to the Broncos is one of my shots. I love that. He was one of the guys that I actually was watching over these past few days. My take on him is I like him. I think he's a good back. I would like him to go to a team with a good offensive line already because he's kind of a downhill one cut type of guy. That would be a great fit. You know what? I'm gonna join you on that right there. I think that would be a wonderful fit right there. If that happens, dude, take him in fantasy, take him in dynasty. That would be a good fit right there. Garrett's in here. Let's go. Saying it's Pig O'Clock. It's Pig O'Clock indeed. It's been a minute since it's been Pig O'Clock, but it's good to be back. It's great to be back. Good to have you in here, Garrett. Appreciate it. Sebastian saying, if we're going to be completely honest, I would not like Ashton Genty going to the Bears very much at all. Yeah. I mean, hey, as a fellow NFC North fan, would not be ideal. But anything for clicks saying Garrett might be an Eagle. Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, that would be a KD to the Warriors-esque move. Yo, we got Dawson Lindahl in here. That's crazy. How's it going, Dawson? Good to have you in here. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, shout out Deca, am I right? That is a North Dakota Deca legend right there. That is a multiple-time National Conference qualifier. I believe multiple-time state champion as well. Throw up the Deca Diamond. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Dawson. That's crazy. Good to have you in here. Sebastian saying, hopefully not a one-year wonder, though. We've seen that happen before. Anything for Click saying it's not. He's great in the scheme. Yeah, I mean, Bond. I do think Bond is the real deal, though. I think they actually just completely unlocked him, right? They moneyballed him. It was pretty cool to see. But Sebastian said, to be honest, I thought they would argue against each other's preferred Starbucks order. I mean, maybe they did that too, right? Cold brew. No, you gotta have hot coffee. It's winter time. Henry saying, would the Stafford situation still be considered tampering if the Rams gave him permission to seek a trade? Maybe not, I guess. I don't know the actual rules for that, but it's a little interesting though, right? And also, hi, I'm Tom Brady. I work for Fox. I'm going to go talk to Ben Johnson before the game real quick. Don't worry though, it's chill. I'm just asking him about the game and not saying, hey, you should come here. But that is true. Maybe that's true. But either way, I do think it's funny. Like, let's be honest, right? And I have a lot of respect for these insiders. Like, they do really hard work, right? Like, as a journalist of sorts, right? Like, I can respect, like, it is a hard job to do, man. Let's be honest, though. A lot of them are just puppets for the owners. And definitely, like, I don't know, Roger Goodell sent, like, a bunch of SUVs to Ian and was like, hey, you need to fix this. You need to make it look like it was an accident. Oh, we got a little bird battle, Ravens versus Eagles. Sebastian saying, do we have any other info on what Brady and Stafford might have done together besides behind closed doors? Oh, I'd pay to see that. The Rappaport situation is crazy. Pigskin Zoe. That's the Penguins guy, right? I forgot his name, but it's like every video is like blank situation is crazy, right? Deca forever. Let's go. Fargo Retro's in here. Shout out Fargo saying he used to live in Fargo. Name checks out right there. Yeah, man. Fargo Springs, dude. They're breezy. They're cold. It's been an adjustment. Hopefully it's going to warm up here a little bit. It was pretty nice on Monday, but man, it's tough going from it being like 70 degrees in Georgia and like, it's 15 and the miles per hour is 30, you know. But Jack saying DK Metcalf for Garrett Wilson, 1 of 1, and reunite Wilson with JSN. Oh, that'd be kind of nice. That would be kind of nice. You know, Wilson's another guy that's maybe on the trade block. Mile markers in here too. Let's go. Saying hi, you doc. Hope you and Chad have all been doing well. I've been doing great, man. I'm back in the homeland, right? Back in Fargo, in between jobs right now. Plans in the works to move back to Georgia, get down to the Atlanta area. I'll let you guys know when I got something lined up right there. But for now, we're just going to kick back, enjoy some time off, right? Get a little Dr. Pigskin action in. Should be good. Dawson's going camping in Utah next week. He's going to be excited for the sun. That's sick. I've actually never been to Utah before. I've had my whole mission to try and go to all 50 states, all 7 continents before I die. Utah is one of them I haven't been to yet, but it looks beautiful out there, dude. That's awesome. Hope you have fun. That sounds so sick. Sebastian saying, do not ask Adam Schefter what he tweeted on March 3rd, 2022 at 1:40 p.m. Is that the Deshaun Watson tweet, right? Where it's like, totally exonerated. He's like, Deshaun Watson welcomed an investigation, and that's why. There you go. That tweet was crazy. I think that's got to be the tweet, right? Don't ask him what he tweeted on April 9th, 2022. I'm sure it's something wild. That whole Deshaun Watson tweet, though, was crazy. Totally exonerated. All right. Yo, Cowboys reworked Dak. I didn't even see this. See, that's how many crazy things have happened today. We'll go through a few more of these here before we dive into some free agents. Oh, yeah. Max Crosby getting a big-time extension. Makes sense, right? I was gassing up the Raiders a little bit earlier today in one of the group chats, right? Hey, honestly, I kind of like what they're building a little bit. I like the hire of John Spytek at GM. Pete Carroll, even if he's a little bit older, right? Maybe he's not the quote-unquote long-term solution. He puts some competency in the building, right? I trust that Carroll and Spytek can find the next man up. They can groom whoever will be next to replace Pete Carroll, right? They're going to groom someone. It's going to be great. But Max Crosby, obviously, all-pro caliber edge, right? One of the better defenders in the NFL. Dude loves being a Raider, right? You got to keep him in the building. I know his sacks were down a little bit. He was injured. He's elite against the run. I may or may not have picked him to be Defensive Player of the Year going into the season. Didn't quite work out, but it's chill. He's still obviously an elite player, right? And the idea of this Raiders defense is, hey, we have an unbelievable defensive line, Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz at edge, and then Christian Wilkins up the middle. They weren't very healthy up front last year. I'd love to see this Raiders defensive line fully healthy going into next season, right? I'm not saying the Raiders are going to make the playoffs or anything, right? Their quarterback situation isn't great, and they have some holes. I like what they're building. Jackson Powers Johnson, good draft pick last year, right? Honestly, their line's not that bad. They got a solid tackle in Colton Miller, right? They could maybe add another body or two up front, but obviously Brock Bowers, Offensive Rookie of the Year caliber player, ended up losing to Jaden Daniels. Understandable, right? They've got some good talent. This defensive line is kind of sick, though. I don't know, dude. Maybe they could add another guy in the secondary. Jack Jones is a guy I've liked a little bit, but he hasn't quite blossomed. Robert Spillane has been pretty good for them. I kind of like the direction that they're headed in, to be honest with you. I honestly like what they're building over here, and you got to keep Crosby in the building. Just makes too much sense. A lot of the moves today have made sense. There have been a few shockers. A lot of them have made sense, all right? Okay, makes sense. Shocker, makes sense. Bradley Chubb, whatever. We don't need to talk about that. Sad, but unfortunately makes sense. This one is sad too. Tank Dell, I mean, man. Great player, just unfortunate circumstances all around. Dude can't catch a break. Feel bad for him, man. But that's kind of the news. Let's talk about some free agents. But let's catch up a chat here first. The April 9th one is the Dwayne Haskins tweet. Yeah, RIP. It was not the worst Dwayne Haskins tweet. Gil Brandt, who was with NFL Media, I don't know if he still is. He might be retired at this point. He said some pretty out-of-pocket things too. There was a lot of out-of-pocket stuff that was said when that happened. That was a sad situation though, man. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Sebastian saying, I couldn't imagine surviving that. Winter campers are built different. Forgot about the Haskin ones. Dawson saying it's Southeast Utah, so won't get below 35. Done sub-zero camping in Duluth Falls. It'll be all right. Oh, that sounds sick too, dude. Duluth, straight up one of my favorite cities in the entire country. Duluth, Minnesota. I love me some Duluth, Minnesota action. I've been trying to go back for a while now. That sounds sick. That sounds pretty sick. Welcome to the stream, Gabe. Let's go. Good to have you in here, Gabe. Saying, I like the Buccaneers. You know what? I do too, right? This is the team of Dr. Pigskin 2025 we're talking about right here. Shout out the Bucks, obviously. Hey, speaking of the Bucks, right? John Spytek, former Bucks GM, but good to have you in here. Let's go. Game Solve saying, how do I feel about the Vikings not putting the franchise tag on their best player and potentially letting him walk? Well, let's talk about it. Let's start with Sam Darnold, right? Also, welcome to the stream Games, by the way. Good to have you back in here. I was actually talking about the Jaguars with a few of my Fargo friends yesterday. And I've said many times now, do not let me get all the way on the Jags train again, right? If I start to have some Jags optimism, you need to stop me. I can already feel it, though. It's calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. It's like, but what if their offense is really good? Trayvon Walker's turned into a good player. What if they're a sneaky 10-win team? I can't do it, though. I can't do it. I can't do it again. All right. So we've got the Greg Rosenthal annual free agency 101, right? Oh, this makes me a little sad. If you know, you know, right? Oh, this said something at this time last year, and now it's different. Very, very sad. But I will say, shout out Heed the Call. They've been doing pretty well. That's a pod that's in the regular rotation. But Greg still does great work, right? One of the head guys at NFL Media now. Every year he puts together his top 101 available players for free agency. Obviously, we're not going to hit every single one, but we'll hit a few of the highlights here. Break down this class as a whole and maybe matchmake a few signings that I'd like to see. You know what? Let's start with Sam Darnold, since Sam Darnold got brought up by Game Solved, right? Mr. Sammy Skull himself. Dude, this is hilarious, right? Because if you go back to even late December, if you go back to that Vikings-Packers game in Week 17, right? Every time the Vikings had a good play, I'm just sitting here like, how could you go away from this, right? Sam is kind of him. And then the next 2 weeks happened, and it was very sobering and eye-opening, and we got punched in the mouth and the jaw and the face and the nose and the eyes and everywhere else in between. The chin even, the neck a little bit. Really everywhere, like above the shoulders, we got punched really hard. So now Sam Darnold is a free agent. The Vikings announced, yeah, we're not going to tag him, right? What I do think is interesting is they said, but we are maybe open to re-signing him. Completely honest, I did a full 180. Crazy. We can't bring him back, right? It's not even that Darnold is bad. I believe, like, okay, Sam Darnold could be a pretty good quarterback in Minnesota, right? He's got a great arm. He's a pretty good athlete. Like, all the talent that we saw coming out of USC finally got materialized in Minnesota, right? And you can chalk it up to KOC and Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson and everything, right? And that's true. But also, there are plenty of games it's like, dude, Sam is kind of playing out of his mind right now, right? I would say for like 80% of the season, Sam Darnold was a good quarterback. Here's the problem, though. It's not just that, oh, there's the 20% where Seen Ghost Sam showed up. It's the fact that as much as I love the Vikings, and I am optimistic about them for next season, right? This is not me saying, oh, the Vikings are going to suck. Here we go. We're going to be bad and terrible and awful again. The truth is, just as much, if not more, than Sam Darnold, right? When we lost those games to close out the season against the Lions and then the Rams, what also got highlighted were a few of the holes that had kind of just we'd gotten away with throughout most of the season, right? The interior offensive line and the interior defensive line mainly, right? God bless the Vikings. God bless Kwesi. We have a lot of cap space to work with, right? Which is sick, and it's great, and it's awesome. Look at that. What, fifth most, sixth most, something like that? I'm not going to count. The Vikings have 3 draft picks right now, and they'll probably get a 4th, right, as a comp pick from Kirk Cousins walking a year ago, right? The truth is the Vikings really just do not have very many draft picks. And if this team is going to improve as much as I think it needs to take that next step and become a tier 1 team, the cold, hard reality is most of that is probably going to have to come through free agency. Like, we just don't have enough draft picks where it's like, oh, we can just kill the draft and we'll fix everything, right? With that in mind, I just don't think we can be spending all this money, well, a lot of this money, on Sam Darnold, right? We drafted a quarterback 10th overall last year. There's an obvious pivot point. We have to do it. We have to do it. And it's not just, oh, well, we drafted him 10th, right? We like the guy. Everyone's like, oh, he's so smart and he's ahead of schedule and he's athletic and he's got a strong arm and he loves Minnesota, right? Like you have to do it. You absolutely have to do it. I think the Vikings will let Sam Darnold walk. I'm okay with it, right? If JJ goes in there and he's not quite as good, whatever. I can live with that, right? We took a swing with JJ. If it doesn't connect for a home run, that's fine. I think he'll be fine too, though, right? If you can coax a good season out of Sam Darnold, man, I hope you can at least coax a decent season out of JJ McCarthy. You have to let him go. I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any means, though, right? I would like to see him, again, go to a team with just some competency in the building, right? I think the biggest thing for me is I'd like to see him go to a team with at least a decent offensive line so he doesn't have to face as much pressure. And I'd like to see a little bit of talent at wide receiver, which, no duh, right? I'd like to see some wide receivers that are good throwing, like going and getting deep balls. The team that I like the most for Sam Darnold, I honestly think this just makes too much sense. I like Sam Darnold to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I honestly think if Pittsburgh is going to make a move at quarterback, realistically, Darnold is probably the best guy that they can get, and I think he'll fit in pretty well with this offense. The line is coming along fairly nicely. Still maybe some question marks. We'll see if Broderick Jones actually turns into a decent player or not. Dan Moore is a free agent, but man, they've sunk a lot of draft capital into the line. I like the way it's grown and progressed. The wide receiver room isn't deep, but they got George Pickens. You want to talk about a guy, you just throw it up and he goes and gets it, right? That's kind of what Sam does. Sam just likes to chuck it. Pickens can go get it. I would like to see Sam Darnold go to the Steelers. I think he's better than Russ, and I think he's better than Fields. Again, they're in kind of a tough spot, right? They can't just like pick a quarterback first overall or get Matthew Stafford or anything, right? I think realistically that would be a move that would make sense for both sides. So I think Vikings let Sam Darnold walk, let him go to the Steelers. I think that that just makes sense to me. That makes me happy. I like that a lot. But got some more camping talk in here. Free agency is going to be crazy. It is. Henry asking, do I think the Bengals can get deals done with Chase, Higgins, and Hendrickson? Anything for Clicks is saying no. I wonder if one guy's going to be the odd man out, right? I mean, hey, ask Joe Burrow. He's going on his media tour being like, no, if you play with the numbers, right? I've been on Spotrac. I've been doing the cap manipulator or whatever, right? If I could figure it out, then surely we all can, right? They tagged Higgins, right? He didn't seem thrilled about it. He tweeted out just tag, period, right? I don't know about that. I mean, they'll still need to get a long-term deal done with him. Chase is going to reset the market, and Hendrickson's going to want big money, or they're going to trade him, right? As dumb as this might sound, because defense is their biggest issue, I do think Hendrickson might be the odd man out, and they're going to be like, dude, we just need to hit on an edge in the draft. Like, we need to keep Chase and Higgins together, right? This is our superpower, our offense. I could see the argument, well, the more responsible move is letting Higgins go and keeping Hendrickson, but Hendrickson's a little bit older. He's a great pass rusher, but I think he's maybe just a little bit too one-dimensional to command that much money, right? I mean, we saw, like, he couldn't, like, very few players could carry a defense like that, but, you know, like, I do wonder if maybe Hendrickson is the odd man out. But I could see a world where they still pull it off, but then it's like they just have no depth. They're honestly in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot. We got Caden in here. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Caden. Saying the foundation is tax exempt and got a couple of grants for funding. Woot woot. Let's go. That's a big W right there. Let's get some dubs in chat going for the nonprofit right there. Bang. Let's go. This is not my nonprofit, by the way. I'm not involved in this. I'm not the one doing the work for this. But that's sick. That's awesome. Congratulations. Sebastian saying, but what if T-Law finally takes the next step and becomes a superstar? You know you want to put that in your 2025 predictions. Again, the devil on my shoulder is like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Rip ATN. Henry knows, man. Henry knows. But GameSolve saying, oh yeah, by the way, the Jags' new GM drafted Puka and Jared Verse. Yeah, that's right. James Gladstone, right? He looks like my age. Hey, no disrespect, right? Got to have some youth infusion. But yeah, you know, he did. I mean, I will say, ask the Lions what it's like poaching from the Rams scouting department, making them your GM, right? They do things pretty well over there. That's a well-run organization. Henry saying, is there a part of you that's glad Sam fell apart and the Vikings are probably avoiding giving him a huge bag? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's better that this happened now and not next year, right? I mean, again, like my thing with the Vikings, I just really think, man, you look at like some of their contracts and kind of the timeline this team is on, and you look at like, okay, like, free agency. Like, okay, who are some of the free agents this year, right? We've got some big decisions to make, a lot of snaps to replace. Next year, right? Lot of snaps to replace, a lot of big decisions to make, right? Realistically, I honest to goodness think like 2025 is the year for the Vikings to go be great, right? We were ahead of schedule. We were accidentally great this past year. Not accidentally, but man, 2025 is probably going to be the best iteration of this Vikings team under Kwesi and KOC, right? So it's better that it happened in those previous two games and not like in pockets of this 2025 season. I will say there is still a part of me that's worried that's like, okay, but this is going to be JJ's first season ever in the NFL, right? He's probably realistically going to have games like that too, you know. It's tough, but I think long-term, yeah, it's probably good that that happened. But all respect to Sam though, dude. He's a franchise legend. I don't care. Like, I had so much fun this season, right? He deserves all the props, all the flowers. Like, he made this season so much fun. What a cool story. For 1 year, he got to shine. Let's go. Let's go. Sebastian saying, to be honest, maybe it's time for Pittsburgh to fully commit to rebuilding around a young QB. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, that's just not how they do business, and I get it, right? Like, there is a part of me that respects, like, you know what? No, we're not going to tank, right? You know, look at the Dolphins. They tanked for like 3 years, and what do they have to show for it? First round exits, right? Dolphins stray. I'm sorry. But there's like other teams, right? Like, honestly, tanking is not just like this cut and dry recipe, right? Like you do just, part of it is you have to get lucky. I do think though that like, honestly, if the same thing happens with Pittsburgh again next year, they win like 9 games, they get bounced in the wild card again, and it's just obvious that they're not quite at that level. As much as I love him, I love the dude, right? Tomlin might be gone, Tomlin might be on the way out, but we'll see. We'll see. But in the 2026 draft, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I think they might try something this last year. Anything for clicks saying Fields greater than Darnold. Ooh, I don't know. I will say Fields was not bad with the Steelers this year, though. He showed a little bit of improvement. I don't know. I think I might take Darnold over Fields personally, but we got a W. Game solved asking what's a nonprofit for. Dude, I'm going to be honest. This is going to sound terrible. I can't fully explain it very well, to be honest. I think Caden would have to be the one to explain. If you don't mind sharing, Caden, obviously, like, this is your life, Share what you're willing to share, I guess. But I feel like you could explain it much, much better than I could. But they do great work. That's what I know. All right. Let's talk about Milton Williams. Dude, this is going to be so funny, right? So Milton Williams coming in at number 1 on this list, right? This isn't my list, but yeah, I might agree. He's the best free agent out there. Just an absolute, had a career year this year, right? He had like 6 sacks, but again, he's an interior defender. He's great against the run. His pressure rate was insane. It was like Chris Jones level, right? This is a very, very good player entering the prime of his career. It is very rare that you see a player of this caliber at this age hit free agency. And I have the best player in free agency. I think the spot that makes the most sense for him is my favorite team. I do think, though, like, if you're the Vikings and you have all this money, right, I'm urging them, like, dude, you got to pony up some cash, right? We got to make a big move right here. It's power play time, right? Again, there's a lot to shore up. My line of thinking, right? The Vikings have a few draft picks and they have a lot of cap space. And if I look at like the Vikings' needs across the interior, right? Honest to goodness, I think the best way to address it is to shore up the offensive line in the draft. I like the class. It's a pretty deep class. I feel like they can maybe get some decent guys still on the board when they're on the clock at like pick 24, right? To me, the offensive line class is a little bit deeper, a little bit more solid than like the defensive line class, if that makes sense. And I just think we need improvements in both of those areas, right? I think you got to try and outbid everyone for this dude. I know he's going to command a pretty penny, right? The Vikings went after Christian Wilkins last year. All right, it's time to go, man. We need someone like him, just a little bit more mass, just a little bit more size up front, right? Someone that can collapse the pocket, soak up double teams. I like Harrison Phillips a decent amount. We need more. Now, again, there's going to be plenty of suitors for him. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles found a way to bring him back, right? I mean, they've been moving things around, right? I know they signed Bond and they signed Saquon and all that, but you know Howie, right? He's got a trick or two up his sleeve. I could see them maybe still trying to bring him back. I don't know, dude. I think Milton Williams to the Vikings, that would make a lot of sense. I could see the Commanders too, right? The Commanders have a lot of cap space to work with. They also need help up front. I mean, even like the Cardinals, Cardinals, a lot of teams with cap space that could use some beef up front. But I'm going to pick my favorite team. Game saying crazy how Milton benefited heavily from 2 games and Darnold suffered heavily from 2 games. That is true. Like, he did go Super Saiyan in the Super Bowl. I will say, though, he was kind of him the entire season. I mean, he had an unbelievable season, right? 5 sacks as an interior defensive lineman, right? And he's playing alongside some great players, but man, he's just throwing dudes around out there, right? Great, great player, man. I don't know. I think he's rightfully coveted. Philly just does such a good job of developing these big dudes, dude. But we'll hit a few more here. Ronnie Stanley. Okay, good tackle. He's a little bit older. He's had an up and down career, but there'll be some suitors for him. Chris Godwin. I feel like he's going to be back, right? I feel like he'll be back with Tampa. Carlton Davis being ahead of Charvarius Ward and DJ Reed is interesting. I know Greg makes the point of like he's a very good man corner, and so he's going to be maybe a little bit more valuable to man heavy defenses, right? Carlton Davis to the Commanders. That's a move I actually like a lot. I actually really like that, right? Commanders play pretty man heavy. They need some guys in the secondary. That's a signing that I like. That's a signing that I really like, actually. We'll say Carlton Davis to the Commanders. Bang. We just made one on the fly. Let's go. But it is a pretty good corner class, right? Charvarius Ward, former first-team All-Pro. And as they write in here, right, poor dude had a very up and down year in his personal life. I mean, just terrible, terrible tragedy, right? Losing his daughter. I feel like he's going to be gone. And DJ Reed, I know DJ Reed is a lot of people that the Vikings Twitter is clamoring for. Oh, believe me, I'd be stoked, right? Corner is another need for the Vikings, but I don't know. Davante Adams at 10 is a little, he's a little bit older. It's worth pointing out, though, that Davante Adams honestly quietly had a great season last year. He really closed out the season strong, and maybe he just follows Aaron Rodgers because that's just what he does now, maybe. But, I mean, take a look at, how he closed the season out, right? 6 for 88 and a touchdown, 5 for 47, 776 and a touchdown, 9 for 198, 2 touchdowns, 9 for 109 and a touchdown, 5 for 66 and a touchdown. I mean, from December on, he was ridiculous. He was fantastic. Davante to the Chargers makes a lot of sense for me, right? Again, he's a little bit older, but dude, you just got to get a receiver on the outside. I love Ladd. Deep to Conk has been a great strategy for the Chargers, right? He was fantastic as a rookie. He had a great playoff game. Much needed improvement at wide receiver. They need more, though, right? No disrespect, dude. We can't have Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston out here running routes, right? If you bring in Davante Adams to the Chargers, here's what I'll say. Because I was thinking about T. Higgins is out there too, right? If the Chargers can get a good outside receiver, whether it's T, whether it's DK, whether it's Davante Adams, depending on if they want to give up draft capital or pay a little bit more, right? Here's what I'll say. If the Chargers can pull off a move for a good outside receiver, the AFC West gets interesting. Now, I'm not going to pick them over the Chiefs necessarily because the Chiefs are the Chiefs and they'll probably figure things out, right? And I'm not going to panic too much from the Super Bowl like they are the Chiefs, right? I don't want to make the same mistake that we always made with the Patriots where it's oh, it's over for them. Wow. And then they win for 10 more years, right? I like the Chargers a lot, dude. I don't know. They got the quarterback. They got a good line. The running game is at least getting there a little bit. I love the defense. Super well coached. They have a lot of free agents, but I don't know. I love the GM and coach partnership, Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh. I thought they absolutely crushed it in the draft, right? I love their process. I don't know, man. Here's what I'll say. If the Chargers could get Davante Adams or DK Metcalf or T. Higgins, if they could actually manage to get one of those three guys, which they have the cap space to do it, right? The AFC West gets interesting, and we might be looking at it's the second to last week of the regular season, and the Chiefs clinched the division, and not they clinched it by week 12. That's what I'll say. I don't know, dude. The Chargers are on the cusp of something. I would love to see them be aggressive for a wide receiver. Davante Adams is one that makes sense. Mari Cooper, I don't know. I'm interested what his market is going to be. He was a little off again, on again, right? He's a little bit older. I mean, he's younger than Davante, but I thought Davante had a much better season than him. Anything for clicks is saying Adams goes to New England. I could see that, right? Patriots, another team that needs a receiver. They have cap space, right? That's kind of a theme with this a little bit, right? I could see that, but I wanted to talk about Davante Adams, though. He got released the other day, which I guess surprises me and doesn't, right? The Jets are just going for a full-on rebuild. They got to clean house. They got to get the stench out from last year. Makes sense, but he's a great wide receiver still. I don't think he's washed. He's maybe not best in the league anymore. He could still be maybe a fringe top 10 receiver, though. I don't know. He's still got it a little bit. He's still got it. But Caden giving a nice little explanation right there. Let's go. Bettering the lives of foster youth. That's awesome. Let's go. Anything for clicks saying, nah, Milton is good. Very underrated. Dude, he's such a beast. You have, I mean, you probably do get it, but like, you have no idea how badly I want the Vikings to get him. No joke. Like, if the Vikings sign Milton Williams, I will like go live on my iPhone and like start celebrating and stuff. Like, no matter where I am, like, bro, I could be like at the bank or something. It's like, yo, we just got Milton Williams, crazy cooked. I'm like screaming in the middle of the bank or something. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't act a fool and like be mean to employees, but yeah. Pair champs in here. Let's go. Dude, I like saw you earlier and then I forgot to say something. I'm sorry about that, but we got pair champ in here saying Devontae's contract is not pretty. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how much of it the Jets are taking on since they cut him, I guess, right? I wonder if he's going to be pretty cheap for whatever team signs him. I actually don't know. I still don't fully know how some of that works, right? Like dead money and all that good stuff. But I wonder if since he got released that he's going to be a little bit of a cheaper option for whichever team signs him. I mean, that's the case with Aaron Rodgers, right? Whichever team signs Rodgers, like, they aren't going to have to pay him a whole lot, which is kind of a nice deal for whoever gets him. I mean, at least relatively speaking, you might get a little circus that comes with him. But Henry bringing up Drew Dahlman, saying, man, the Falcons losing out on Drew Dahlman could be a pretty low-key bad move for our O-line. Yeah, coming in at number 12, right? Hey, this is all about the Vikings, right? Another guy, honestly, like if the Vikings got him, I'd be pretty hyped up, right? Yeah, he's turned into a pretty good player, right? And yet, that Falcons O-line, it's still pretty good. It's maybe not quite as good as they have a reputation of being necessarily, right? Losing out on a solid center like that, dude. I mean, really, like the center really is the anchor of the line, right? Not just like, oh, they're in the middle. Usually they're the ones calling out protections, helping identify blitzers and stuff. Yeah, that would actually be a big loss. That's a great point. Look at Henry, the Falcons correspondent, coming in. Yeah, Drew Dahlman. I mean, it's not a crazy class for interior offensive line, right? I mean, you look at like some of the moves that teams have made, right? Trading, like the Bears trading for Tooney and Jonah Jackson, right? It's kind of telling what teams think of this interior offensive line class, but Dahlman is one of the few good ones out there. Byron Murphy, he fascinates me. I thought we were going to tag him for sure. I guess not. I mean, the tag deadline passed, right? Did the Vikings even tag anyone? I'm not sure. He had a great season. He's a great nickel corner. In a perfect world, I'd like to see him back. No promises, though. Honestly, an interesting team. What if he went back to the Cardinals? I could see that. Dre Greenlaw coming off some injuries. We'll hit a few more here. What are some other interesting ones that I want to talk about? Ernest Jones. Man, what a journey he's had. Diggs is out there. You want to maybe look at another good but aging receiver. He's coming off that injury, which scares me a little bit. But he honestly had a good season with Houston before he went down. There was like one guy further down that I wanted to talk about. I looked through this list a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Najee Harris. Okay, my Najee Harris take. This is not who I want to talk about, but Najee Harris, honestly, I think he's pretty good. I think he's a little underrated because you just look at his yards per carry, and it's like, oh, less than 5. He's good at what he does, though. He's a good power back. He's ran behind some inconsistent up and down Steelers offensive lines. I actually like Najee Harris a lot. Again, not to make it all about the Vikings. I actually wouldn't hate if Najee went to the Vikings, but maybe I'm tripping. I swear there's like someone further down. Oh, yeah. there he is. Here's who I wanted to talk about. Of course. Okay, so on my previous stream, I think it was actually Henry who asked me like what I wanted the Jets to do at quarterback, right? And I was like, whatever, like just Jordan Travis it for a year, right? You don't need to make a big move at quarterback right now. Be a little patient. This is year one of a rebuild. Like just take it easy, ride the wave, right? Like just have Jordan Travis be your like lottery ticket scratch off bridge quarterback, right? The Sam Howell effect, right? I mean, like that's what the Commanders did with Sam Howell. Let's just let the kid play for a year, right? If you wanted to bring in a vet and just have him be a sacrificial lamb, you could do a lot worse than Jacoby Brissett. And I'm laughing. He should be a starter. He should be a starter. He's one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the league. I swear. He should start. Come on. Give him a chance, Jets. Let him just throw to Garrett Wilson. Let him get 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 10 picks on a decent passer rating. That's all I want to see. I just want to see him have one season where he's like the 21st best quarterback in the NFL and be like, see, I told you so. Oh, man. He'll probably be a backup. I was so sad when he signed with the Patriots last year. I was like, no, you should have gone to the Steelers or the Falcons. Well, the Falcons got Kirk, but speaking of Dr. Pigskin legend, Big Dog. He's only 29, but yeah, it's an all right class, right? I mean, free agency. Very rarely can you get like superstar players. The best way to approach free agency, really, in my opinion, is all right, let's just get quality starters, good role players, stuff like that, right? You're not going to fix your team through free agency, but you can patch up a lot of holes. Free agency is a nice test of responsibility, in my opinion, right? The teams that are just unbothered and just at peace, right? Their aura is strong and their will is peaceful, right? Those are the teams that actually win free agency, not, let's spend. Unless my team does it, of course. If the Vikings are like, let's spend for Milton Williams, I'd be like, top 10 reasons why the Vikings are going 17-0. That's what I saw something about the Packers. Okay, dude, I'm sorry I'm getting to this just now. Pearchamp saying, I hope the Packers get DJ Reed. Jair is probably leaving. Caden with the little up arrow as if to say, I second that. Yeah, I do think Jair is probably on his way out, right? I feel like that relationship has probably been fractured at this point. Had a great career, but just an interesting experience with him. Yeah, I could see the Packers targeting one of those top corners like DJ Reed or Charvarius Ward. It is a good class for corners. I like that. I'll give the Packers either Reed or Ward. I like that thought process right there. Michael's in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Michael. Saying, hey, Eric, missed the last stream and hadn't got a chance to rewatch it, but I wanted to ask you what happened with the White County newspaper. Yeah, I suppose. So, my lease in White County ended back on March 1st. I had a year lease there, and this was something that I'd been thinking about for a while, right? I decided to stop working there, I guess. I left my job a few weeks ago. It was an awesome first job. I mean, truly, like, I can't say enough good things about it. There's an amazing team there. There's some amazing people there. I got to do a lot of really, really cool things there. As far as like a first job out of college goes, it was awesome, dude. I had so much fun. I loved it. But I do think it was time for me to move on and try and find something new, right? My goal is to move out to Atlanta, right? Be close to Christine, be close to family and like close to her family and close to friends, right? Like that is where I see myself kind of like planting roots a little bit. And, like, I won't lie, man. Like, obviously, this right here, Dr. Pigskin right now is not like a viable career, right? Like, I just straight up don't make enough money. But I won't lie, like I am kind of like planning my career path around like if like Dr. Pigskin or like covering the NFL, right? Like that is what I want to do. So I figured, my lease is up. It is time. It's a natural transition point. So we're at the bridge quarterback stage of life right now, right? I'm in my Jacoby Brissett era right now. Dude, okay. I might have to get a Jacoby Brissett jersey now. I'm in my Jacoby Brissett era right now. I'm in a bridge phase. I'm going to try and find my franchise job and franchise apartment next time around. But yeah, that's what happened pretty much. Yeah, it has been something I'd been thinking about for months, and I went and did the darn thing. So I'm back home in Fargo right now, living with my parents. Shout out my parents for letting me live down here in the guest room. I got the whole setup and everything. I recreated my L-shaped desk. I have my monitors. I have my mic and everything. And it's been nice, right? It's been nice to catch up with family and friends and all that stuff and see some familiar faces and try some new foods and go to restaurants of old and all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, it's a weird spot to be in right now, but I am Jacoby Brissett. Anything for Click saying Rodgers going to the Vikings? Nah, we're good. We're good. We're all right. We're all right. Pair Champ saying, have I gone through making your own first round draft yet, Doc? You know, I've been thinking about that, right? And I said this a little bit earlier, and I still might do it just for fun, right? To see how it evolves. I've always been in the camp of like, you know, like I like to wait a little bit till the dust settles for free agency to really dive into mocks, right? Because like team needs can change and evolve once players get signed. I still might sit down and put one on like the Discord or something here over these next few days, though. I've toyed around with it a little bit, I won't lie. I've been on PFF a little bit toying around with the mock draft simulator. But there you have it right there. That's a little free agency talk. And as promised, I want to give a shout out / apology to CB. I don't know if CB's in here right now or not, but I said, this was a long time ago, actually. I said, hey, next time, I can't remember what stream this was. This would have been in like October or something. But I said, hey, next time I'll play some GeoGuessr. And then next time came and I didn't play GeoGuessr. And I hadn't played GeoGuessr in a minute, honestly. And I've been on such a geography kick and map kick and all that kind of stuff from this road trip that I've taken in the past week, right? Going from Georgia back to North Dakota. Man, when I tell you I fell down a rabbit hole learning about Interstate 24 on Wikipedia, man, you wouldn't believe how long I spent on that Wikipedia page. Just some fascinating stuff. I nerd out about football the most, obviously, right? Geography's up there for me, though, and I'm not a GeoGuessr expert by any means. I'm no Rainbolt, but I have some fun, and I play some GeoGuessr. So, CB, if you're watching or you're watching this later, here you go. Finally is next time. And finally, we're going to play a little bit of GeoGuessr to cap off the night. You know, I like to, in the off season, it's nice to, you know, have some football talk and just have a little game for me to play, right? Like, and obviously, I mean, you guys know, right? I'm playing. You could keep the football questions coming, right? It's just something for me to do while we just sit and hang out a little bit. While I'm here and before I forget to, my plan, because I know people had asked about like stream schedule and stuff. So for the off season, I plan to try and do a stream a week, you know, and life happens sometimes, right? But I'm going to say that Wednesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central is going to be the standard time. Now, there'll be times where things are going on and it's different. Like, for example, next week with free agency, right? The legal tampering window opens on Monday, and that's usually when all the signings happen. So realistically, next stream will probably be Monday instead of Wednesday, and then we'll try and go back to Wednesday. But, you know, I'll be making community posts and saying stuff in Discord and on Twitter. But before I forget, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But we'll catch up a chat here a little bit first, and then we're going to play a few rounds of GeoGuessr before we call it a night. And I got to say, dude, being in Central Time Zone, I'm loving this. It's 8:07. Like, normally I'd be getting started at 8. It's like, man, going to be in bed a little bit earlier, kicking my feet up a little bit. It's going to be nice. But Henry asking, what is my way too early pick for the worst to first team in the 2025 NFL season? That's a great question, actually. Let's pull up the standings here real quick. NFL standings. I have a team in mind, and I've kind of teased them a little bit. I don't know if they actually finished last in their division or not. I think they did. You might know what's coming. No, they didn't. I mean, they kind of did. I won't say the Panthers, though. That doesn't fully... I might say the Panthers. We'll see. Panthers, if they can address that defense, I don't know. I like the Bucks still, right? I think they're a well-run organization. They've got a great offensive line. The offense is great. They just need to shore up their defense a little bit, too. Falcons, we'll see. We'll see how this offseason goes for them. I think there could be a window for the Panthers to pounce. And I know I've had Panthers takes before, and I've picked them to win the division before, and it hasn't gone well. I could see the vision. Niners, I mean, they seem like an obvious candidate, right? I'm a little lower on the Niners, though. I don't know. Like, I do think, like, this might be the start of them, like, not a complete downfall, but I don't think they're trending in the right direction, to be honest. I just think they're getting a little bit older, a little bit more banged up. Attrition, I mean, things don't last forever. I don't know that I would say the Niners. I feel like they'd be the most popular answer. I'm not quite there with them. Giants, no. Bears, division's too tough. They might be better. They probably will be better. Division's too tough, though. In the AFC, Patriots, I like their upside, but I don't know that they can clear the Bills, right? The Raiders, I said, oh, arrow up on the Raiders. They're not not air up to the point of beating the Chiefs. Browns, Titans. I will say Panthers. I will say Panthers. I might say some irresponsible things about the Panthers depending on how their offseason goes. But all right, let's play a few rounds of GeoGuessr here. All right, so we're going to do classic maps. We'll do a few United States only, and then we'll do worldwide, right? We'll warm up with the United States, though. I got to say, man, I had a crazy journey across the United States. I hit, 7 different states, I think it was. Well, okay, so I started in Georgia. Then there's Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota. Yeah, 7 different states. I drove on the entirety of Interstate 24. I got to go through the Cumberland Plateau and Monteagle Mountain. Those are fun little things to look up if you're ever interested in that kind of thing. Got to cross some bridges, got to see some rivers, all that good stuff. The first day, it was beautiful out too. I mean, I love that stretch of I-24. Pretty much from Chattanooga to Nashville. Just a beautiful drive, and it was so nice outside, man. Oh, I had a lot of fun on that journey. I was posted up in Marion, Illinois for a night. Went out to a wildlife refuge out there. That was a lot of fun. I mean, you could drive around, you could hike. There was a few lakes and stuff. Sun was going down. There were geese flapping around everywhere. That was pretty cool. Then I stopped in Iowa for a couple days, saw my sister and my brother-in-law, had a good time with them. That was a lot of fun. And then back to North Dakota. Go-to road trip snack? Oh, honestly, I'm a sucker for Slim Jims. The Tabasco Slim Jims and a Diet Mountain Dew go crazy. Honest to goodness, I think I had that like every day I was on the road. I love me some Slim Jims and Mountain Dew. Cadbury chocolate mini eggs. Yeah, if I want something sweet, I like the bag of mini Oreos. Those are good too. Specifically the mini Oreos. There's just something about like the big bag, right? You can see it on like the top right corner and like, there is 5 servings in this bag. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm downing the whole bag, bro. Bills have a chokehold on the division, but can't get past the Chiefs. Yeah, what a tragedy. We'll do move. We'll do a time limit. We'll do like 2 minutes. We don't want to get too crazy here. All right, let's do a few rounds of the United States, a few rounds of worldwide. Slim Jims and jerky are great car food. I'm with you. All right, so this is a shopping center of sorts, right? This looks very suburban. Castle something. I can't quite read that. Darn cursive. I don't know how much this is going to tell us going this way. We got a Five Guys, a lot of chains. What the heck happened there? Can't really see the license plates that well. That actually kind of looks like New Jersey's plate or maybe Mississippi's plate. I'm not the type of person that can tell like, oh, this tree tells me where I am, you know? That one kind of looks like New Jersey, but that one kind of looks like Mississippi's plate a little bit. South Virginia? Oh, Dots Pretzels. That's a good one too. Hey, I know a thing or two about Dots Pretzels. Shout out Velva, North Dakota. This is tough. Can I tell from the bus? I mean, we're in the middle of the suburbs right now. This is like peak United States suburbia, right? Man, I've got 39 seconds. Roadside depressions. Yo, Sebastian coming in with the roadside depressions insight. That's crazy. Oh, wait. Dude, I'm not doing so hot. It's been a while since I've played. I can't tell from that. Shoot, dude, I want to say New Jersey just because of the license plates. That's such a cop-out. We're going to do it, though. I could see it. It'd have to be suburbs of, like, one of the bigger cities, right? Like, we'll say we're in Trenton. Oh, bang! License plates coming up clutch. Coming up clutch. A bus said New Jersey, too. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, man, I can feel not just bike screaming in agony. All right. Well, not bad. That's not a bad start. Dude, I hope I could get North Dakota. I have yet to get, like, North Dakota playing this game, except for, like, North Dakota-only maps. Okay, Babcock Avenue. This looks interesting. I have never really been in an area like this before. I believe those are palm trees there. Could this be like California maybe? A lot of construction. The London Hair Company. Could this be California maybe? I don't know. Like that tall palm tree right there, to me, I think of California, right? Man. I don't know if you can hear my mouse clicking or not. I'm sorry if that's annoying. Although that does not look like a California plate necessarily. It almost looks like North Carolina's plate. Could this be like the beach area of North Carolina? I don't know if that makes sense or not. Man. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, they do a good job of blurring out the plates. And I don't want to be like, I see your license plate. You know. They got a for sale sign here. Oh, man. All right, we got to get our acts together here a little bit. Oh, jeez. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Chat, you have any idea? Texas? I don't hate Texas. Yeah, there might be more palm trees. I don't hate Texas, honestly. That's a decent question. Also, welcome, Davis LeBlanc. Got a Ravens question here. We'll get to that here in a sec. We got 15 seconds. You know what? I'll do Texas near Galveston. I like that. I could see that. Do like right around here, maybe. Oh, it is California. It is California. Dang, I should have stood on business. It's literally right out of Los Angeles. Dang. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some. I'm Dr. Pigskin, not Dr. Geography, but always check trash cans. See, we have a real GeoGuessr player in here right now in chat. Dude, it is scary watching Gabe play GeoGuessr. Always check trash cans. That is tough. You win some, you lose some, right? Dang. David, sorry, not Davis, David. I'm sorry, dude. Asking, do the Ravens have what it takes to win this year? I mean, they do, right? They straight up do. They've had what it's taken to win it all for years on end. They're just another team that hasn't quite been able to get over the hump. And, you know, I'm sure this comparison has been beaten to death at this point. But, like, it is fair to say, you know, like, it took, what, Peyton Manning, like, 8 or 9 years to finally get over the hump, right? Like, really the best thing you can do is just put yourself in like the best possible position each and every year, right? The Ravens do that. They're well coached. They're well-run organization. They've got an elite quarterback. I like their defense. Like, yeah, they'll absolutely be a contender next year. I would be shocked if they weren't like a tier 1 team in the AFC again. You know, it comes down to like not dropping on the 2-point conversions and stuff like that. Like, that's really what it comes down to. But they absolutely could, you know. It'd be silly to say they couldn't. All right, here we go. See, this could be like, see this? Okay, so we were talking about the roofs a little bit, right? Oh, Gabe asking if he wants to hop on and play along. Honestly, that'd be kind of sick. I'd be down. Yeah, okay, we'll do that after this game right here. That would be kind of sick. Get a little collab going. Play a quick party for like 10 minutes. No, let's do it. That'd be sick. See, someone was saying Stuco roofs, right? I don't even know if I said that. Indicate California. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's this too. I know you could see that throughout a lot of the Southwest, like Arizona, but again, very palm tree here. Makes me think California. Honestly, this isn't doxing them because they don't live here anymore. It kind of reminds me of where my grandparents used to live a little bit. Mile marker saying he lived in California for a little bit and didn't recognize it. Dang. New Mexico, Arizona, I could see that. Yeah, I could see like Breaking Bad taking place here. The palm trees, though. I mean, does New Mexico have palm trees like that? I don't know that they do. Maybe they do. Although, Coronado, I mean, that seems Spanish, right? I mean, it's got to be in this region somewhere, right? Like, why do I want to say maybe it's like San Diego? Like, they won't give us LA twice in a row, right? Let's see. We got 30 seconds here. Cape Coral, is that Florida? Oh, is there a Cape Coral thing here? I can't see that sign very well. It could be Florida. Yeah, there's a 7-Eleven. Oh, I like Florida. Thank you guys for changing my mind. Yeah. All right, I got to hurry. Cape Coral, that's like down near Miami, right? Screw it. Ah, other side. Other side. We'll take that, though. Yeah, it is Cape Coral. That's crazy. Too lush. Dang. All right. Well, we got a couple more here. Oh, it's an Ulta and a shoe carnival. They're putting us in another mall. Is that a cheese? No, that's not a Cheesecake Factory. Wait. No way. Say it ain't so. Is that a Village Inn? I believe that's a regional chain in the Midwest. We have a Village Inn in Fargo. At least we used to. The sign doesn't really look like that anymore. I think they rebranded. I saw a Village Inn in Iowa. Here we go. Here we go, right? This has got to be the Midwest, right? Village Inn. Is Village Inn national? I don't think it is. Oh, well, I don't think we're in the Midwest, actually. Okay. Is Village Inn really popping like that? This place looks sick. Where are we? These are massive mountains. See, this could be like New Mexico or Nevada or something like that. Oh, that's not an arena. Oh, this place looks sick, though. GTA map, the mountain reveal. I'm like, guys, I think we might be in like Iowa. Oh my gosh, Montana. I could see that. Yeah, I am Mr. Montana, kind of. I've been there once. What do we think? It can't be Bozeman though, right? I've been to Bozeman. That'd be sad. Could it be Missoula? I'm gonna mark Missoula for now. Utah or Colorado, Gabe thinks. Oh, Salt Lake City, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, because it seems pretty big. Like, it seems a little big to be like Missoula. You know what I'm saying? It's very developed and suburban. We'll say Salt Lake City. Bang! Oh, it's Provo, but we'll take it. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Bang! Let's go. Dang. Bro, that's crazy. Saying I might lean Provo here, and it's Provo. Man. Colorado would have been a good one, too. That's so funny, though. I didn't know there were Village Inns in Utah. I mean, like, we had one in Fargo, and I think it got closed down, and Chase Bank swooped in, and capitalism, right? And I saw one in Iowa, and I vividly remember because my sister was like, oh, Village Inn. And her husband was like, yeah, Village Inn. It's like national, you know? Or not national, it's regional. Clearly, it's a very big region. I mean, I don't see like Village Inn in Georgia or anything, but all right, we got one more here. We got one more. I'm loving this, though. People are playing along, too. People are loving this. All right. And now we're in a neighborhood. Oh, I hate these. It's like, no, just give me a sign that says where I am. That's not as fun, though. You don't earn it as much, right? Okay. I don't know, 336 area code. Triad Real Estate Moms? We got some blurry pictures here now. We are just in a neighborhood. I mean, this could be literally anywhere. Christ is risen. We're in the South. Morris Farm. Another Christ is risen sign. Maybe it's around Easter. Okay, are we going to get out of this neighborhood? Okay. We made it out. Morris Farm. We got a minute. Let's see. Riverview. Looks southeast. Urban South. Yeah. Cleveland, Georgia. Could you imagine if I got Cleveland, Georgia? I would lose my mind, dude. No way. It's the Clipper gas station. Oh, wait, hold on. I do like the Urban South take, though. We got a High Point City Lake, High Point Watershed. Okay. What are we thinking about, like, I don't know. So when I think of Urban South, I think of like Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, like this sort of triangle, right? I don't know why I'm kind of getting Carolina's vibes. We'll mark that for now. We've got a little bit more time. Trash cans. The darn trash cans. Yes, I'm never checking the trash cans. Michael's saying that's North Carolina. There's no plates on the front. That would say North Carolina. Let's do Charlotte. Greensboro. Okay. Isn't that where Mr. Beast is from or something? High Point, North. Oh, bro knows High Point, North Carolina. That's crazy. See, I just didn't even know that. All right. We've had better, we've had worse. We'll take silver. Again, we're in our nice little United States bubble, but all right, let's get you in here, Gabe. Let's do this. I got to figure out how to do this exactly. I guess you just have to like send me an invite or something. But I'll get a swig of water going while we do that. Green click. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that means. But that has been fun. I missed playing GeoGuessr. It's been a minute since I've played GeoGuessr in general, not even on stream. It's been a minute since I've fired up the old GeoGuessr. Check the chat. Okay. Aha, here we go. Bang. Let's go. That's definitely what I look like. All right. I'll let you decide what exactly we're playing. I know there's been like a few different modes we've played before where there's like the showdown one where it's like, you have to guess it first or something like that. But you're the master. I'll cede to you. But, a little head-to-head GeoGuessr. Where else can you get 20 minutes of Milton Williams talk followed by head-to-head GeoGuessr, right? Who else is doing that kind of stuff? I don't see Bill Simmons playing GeoGuessr against Ryan Russillo. I would actually watch that. All right. United States 1 minute. I like it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Lobley Hill. Very lush. Let's see if we could find some trash cans to check here. And we're getting into the low res part. Hold on. But it's lush. It's very nice. Oh, we got a van. See if we can just creep up a little bit and see this van. 919. I'm not familiar. Let's see if we could do decent. I'm going to get obliterated in this, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. Talk your talk, Doc. I got a real estate posting. Oh, crap. We've already got 20 seconds, dude. Man, it is nice out here. This is going to be crazy. And watch, Gabe is going to get, like, within 3 miles of this. I am going to say Charlotte again. Oh, boy. This is going to be bad. Oh! No way! Holy crap. Indiana vibes. I've barely been to Indiana before. Hey, I'll take that. That's not bad. Let's go. We're going to try and keep it within 1,000. That's my goal. Oh, okay. Now we might actually be in the Midwest. For real this time. Unless there's like going to be a mountain jump scare again. I don't know. Maybe not. It's flat. But it doesn't scream Midwest. I mean, look, it's winter, right? There's no leaves, but there's also no snow. So it's certainly not like upper Midwest or anything. I mean, could this be like Nebraska maybe? It could be like Nebraska or something. Oh, man. Got 19 seconds here. Let's see if we can... North Heights. It's historic North Heights. You know what? We are going to say Nebraska. We'll go Omaha. Go a little bit further out. I don't know. I don't feel great about this one, to be honest. Read the school bus. I know. Texas. Oh, it's always Texas. Hey, you know what? We're hanging in there. Oh, crap. I'm leading, actually. Yeah, I should have read the school bus. I know. I get so overstimulated sometimes. It's like, I just got to hone in, lock in. But we're leading after 2. Let's go. All right. This is some sort of apartment complex. And the license plates don't tell us a lot necessarily. They have some color to them. Low-key, that kind of looks like Georgia's plates. I could see this being Georgia, honestly. Falcon Design Consultants. Yo, is this Georgia? They do kind of look like Georgia plates. Falcon Design Consultants. Oh, what do we have here? Clark and Washington bankruptcy stuff. Oh man. If I get Georgia, if I guess Georgia and it's wrong, though, that's a terrible stain for the brand. Not as bad as if I were to get North Dakota wrong. Screw it. We're gonna go Georgia. We're gonna go bang. There's no way. I mean, I've been around that area so much. Oh, it is. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Wow, near McDonough. Wow. Yeah, the columns, yeah. If you aren't in New York, Texas, Cali, or Nebraska, what are you doing with your life? Hey, let's go. Let's go. Not bad. This has been like a decent performance from me. This could also be the South. This could be like more rural South. Maybe. Maybe. These trees look interesting, though. I feel like I don't see trees like that very often. It looks a little swampy out here. You know what I'm saying? Got a railroad crossing. Oh, man. Trash cans, anyone? Oh. Oh. Tough to... I thought that was the Georgia Tech logo for a sec. I'd have been like, no way. It's tough to tell. Oh. Yo. BNSF. That's like in North Dakota. This isn't North Dakota, I don't think. Screw it. I'm going to say Wyoming. There's no way. Yeah. Tough. Turns out trains can travel outside of that region. Oh, that one killed me. Oh, that one killed me. That's tough. All right, I got to go crazy on this final round. Not only do I have to go crazy, but Gabe needs to like sell, right? I need to do something ridiculous to win this. But hey, I said keep it within 1,000. Oh, hold on. Well, let's see if we can find it. It's tough to read it from there, but we're gonna just put it here for now. That's crazy. Shout out to that car. No, where'd you go? Hold on. I just want to move ever so slightly. No. Oh, shoot. Okay, it starts with a P. It almost looks like Pearl Harbor. It's obviously not. Oh, yo, there it is. There it is. Let's go. Okay. There's no way. I mean, he clearly saw the car, right? I guess there's still a little bit of time left. There's 5 seconds left. Bro, he's probably going to get it within like a mile. Come on. Oh, let's go. We'll take it. Nice. Oh, wow. It was further away. I suppose because the car, like, can drive. That was good, though. Good game. Good game. That was awesome. All right. Do you want to do one round of worldwide? And then maybe we'll call it a night. How does that sound? We'll do a round of worldwide. Same setup. We'll do worldwide, and then we'll call it a night. That sound good? But hey, you know what? I didn't quite keep it within 1,000, but I'm proud of how I performed right there. We went in there. We had some good calls right there. We looked like we belonged, you know. We were the Rams of GeoGuessr. We took the champ to the wire, you know. Do global. Oh yeah, we got to do worldwide now. Step outside of our comfort bubble. Here we go. Worldwide 1 minute. Let's do this. Oh crap. Now I'm gonna show how uncultured I am. Man, I'm not going to lie. I don't recognize this language. This is clearly European, right? I think we can at least narrow that down. Watch, it's going to be not European. Okay. Discount. The way that's spelled, it's not German, right? I don't think it's German, but it's not like Polish because Polish has like those extra symbols in some of their words, right? Man. Can I do 10? You know, yeah, maybe we'll do another one after this. We'll do 2 rounds so we can get 10. Okay. I've just established that this is Europe. Is this like... I don't know, dude. Belarus? We'll see. This is going to be tough. Austria. Yeah, I could see that. Not Belarus. Yeah. I've only left the country once, and that was to go to a resort in Mexico. That's changing soon, though, actually. I'm going to Canada pretty soon, which I'm excited for. But yeah, that's tough. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is nice. We got some more mountains. So this is... well, I can't even speak definitively on that yet. I feel like I've been... Like, not been. I feel like I've gotten an area like this before on GeoGuessr. See, and I think of that meme where it's like that one like Instagram story. It's like everyone's like, you need to visit the Tuscan countryside. It's like, nah, this looks like Bakersfield, California. Okay, we got a sign here. You might know what I'm talking about, right? Latkovici. I won't pretend to know what that is. Portugal? You know what? I like it. That doesn't really look Portuguese, though, does it? Ah. I don't know. Slovakia. Screw it. That doesn't make sense. Ah. Tough. Croatia. Yeah. See, I just think of like, oh, Luka Modric, you know, for Croatia. But there's no Luka Modric signs just chilling. No. Yeah. Oh man, I'm probably killing you guys right now. The more well-traveled people. Okay, Ramada National High School. Lots of palm trees. Ramada National High School. This place looks sick, honestly. I love this sort of like climate, I guess. Palmero. Okay. See, here's what I'll say. And I don't want to be wrong. Like, I'm scared to be wrong, but honest to goodness, first thing I think of is the Philippines when I see this, right? Because there's a lot of Spanish influence in the Tagalog language. And this, but I don't know, dude. And I don't want to guess the Philippines and then it's wrong. Screw it. It's not going to be, though, is it? I don't know, man. Whatever. We'll do it. I didn't even get my guess off. Oh, did I? Oh, bang! Okay, I did click it, I guess. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I'm at least somewhat valid. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm a quarter Filipino. My lolo, as they say in Tagalog, right? Also known as my dad's father, is from the Philippines. So it's like, dude, if I get that wrong, I'm a stain to my family. For Inglistion country, club use J31. Interesting. This seems European, potentially. That's a Myanmar, Latvia, USA chats. Like Jared Goff, that's right. That's a great poll right there. Paisley Renfrew. Interesting. I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. We got a sign. Can we get the sign? X-Site Brayhead area. Or is this like South Africa or something? Nah. Nah, screw it. You know, we're going to guess South Africa. It is just a complete guess. Australia, that would make sense too. Goodness. Are you kidding me? It's the United Kingdom. Glasgow? I guess it's Scotland, yeah. Ah, brother. Hey, you know what? At least, I don't know. Okay. See, I think of like the Sound of Music when I see this, right? I can like spin around in the field. That was pretty bad. Man, I'm getting my lunch money taken in worldwide. See, this has got to be like, see, I think it like this has got to be like Switzerland or something, right? I guess the Sound of Music was in Austria. It could be. It sure could be. Outside Zurich, maybe? Zurich? I don't even know how you say it. That's what I'm liking the Switzerland vibes, honestly. I think we might rock and roll with it. Yeah, you know what? Switzerland. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go. Not completely cooked. Hey, could have been worse. Look for the nuclear bunkers if you see it's either Switzerland or Albania. Did not know that. Let's go. Hey, thank you. That was awesome. Appreciate it, man. That was a lot of fun. All right. We'll do one more solo adventure here. We'll do one more solo worldwide just so we can get to 10, right? I don't want to have another unfulfilled GeoGuessr promise. We will do one more. Let's do classic maps. Let's do worldwide. Let's see if we could do a little bit better. Let's see if we can not have another South Africa, Scotland moment. Let's get a little bit of water first. We'll do a minute. I like a minute. Minute really makes you, it's really a test of your ball knowledge, you know? Oh, crap. Okay. This could be anywhere. This could be the United States. Well, hold on. Where'd that sign go? It is not the United States. See, that is Polish, if I'm not mistaken, right? That L. I think of that because of Jakub Błaszczykowski, right? The guy that used to play for Dortmund. But his name had that, and there's like a few other Polish players, right? Look, maybe that's not the same thing actually, but I swear that's a thing in Polish, right? Polish, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll at least put this down for now. Let's see. I spent so much time talking about Błaszczykowski. That's we're just gonna go with this. Oh wait, no, it was right there. I saw it. Oh well. We'll take that. That's pretty good. 4,000. Okay. Big cell tower. And not a whole lot else. Kalu High School. Let's see. Kind of flat here. Kenya. Yeah, I could see it, right? I mean, it's... That's the thing, is Africa is so big, dude. Like... Oh, bang. Let's go. Okay, it is Kenya. All right. This can't be Nairobi, though, right? I mean, maybe it's like right outside Nairobi. Oh, yeah, Nairobi. Okay. We'll stick with this, though. I like that. Oh, other way. Okay. That's pretty good, though. Car has a Kenyan snorkel. See, this is the stuff that I don't know. That's awesome, though. The Kenyan snorkel. I got to spend more time on the GeoGuessr subreddit. Wow, okay. This could legit be North Dakota. I don't think it is, but, like, I promise you, there are places in North Dakota that look just like this. Well, hold on. Oh, it's I-27, dude. Oh, Texas. Okay. Dude, if that said I-29, I was about to lose my mind. I was like, hold on, this actually is North Dakota. Texas I-27. Now we got to play a fun game of Find the Interstate, which I struggle with. Oh, here we go. Oh, could it be like out near Lubbock, maybe? There's okay, so I-27 and I-87 south. Where's I-87? Or are they both? Because I know like they merge or like they're the same entity sometimes, right? If that makes sense. Oh, we're just going to go with this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Someone's got to clip that. I guess I don't know. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know how well you can see, but yeah. Okay. That was legendary. Oh, let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. That was sick. Ho-ho. All right. Oh, this place looks awesome. Look at that. Yo, are we on a train? Where on earth could this possibly be? This looks like a rainforest, kind of. A little bit. Wow. Yo, I would love to take this train, whatever this is. Texas sand. See, I don't know if there's like any snorkels I should be looking for or something. Oh man, this one's gonna be tough. I saw like a kilometer marker and that's about it. All I know is that we're on a train through the woods. See, I'm scared to say like Brazil or something. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It almost looks a little cool for Brazil. I'm gonna do it. It evens out eventually, right? Or like Guatemala. I don't know why I just switched. Yeah. Goodness. Really? See, that just shows like I'm gonna be real, dude. Like I would not have thought of India seeing that at all. Hey, you win some, you lose some. Maybe don't clip that one. All right, I think we got one more here, right? Yep, 5 out of 5. All right. Wow. Okay. We're in the desert. Where on earth are we? I would have never guessed India for that last one, though. Just was not on my radar. Man. And are these like greenhouses or something, right? Man, I gotta imagine we're probably like Middle East, no? I say that I scroll in on like Ukraine. This is not what I meant to do. Like, it's gotta be like around here, I would think, no? North Africa? That could be it too. Yeah, I could see that. Hold on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. North Africa. Oh, it's Egypt. No, I guessed Egypt. It's Spain. I guess that's close to North Africa. It's close to Morocco, I guess, kind of. Interesting. I would not have guessed Spain for that. Wow. A lot of greenhouses there. Dang. Morocco. I mean, shoot, if I would have guessed Morocco, I would have been in a good spot there, but we had one crazy one, and then we had some rough ones. Getting a straight-up 0 was kind of tough, but we'll take that. We almost got silver, but there you have it, folks. That was some GeoGuessr. We had some off-season talk. We talked about the free agency class. A lot of news that we broke down today. That was a good stream. It was a little bit of a shorter one. Not even 2 hours, but you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just keep it short and sweet. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. This is the first stream back in Fargo. And in case you missed it earlier, right, going to be trying to do this once a week, you know. Wednesday is probably going to be the normal time, like Wednesday around this time. But again, like next week might be Monday because there'll probably be a lot of free agent crazy stuff happening. So we'll plan on Monday unless there's like no signings, but I'd be surprised to be honest with you. But yeah, man, that's all I really have. Yeah, you take care as well, Sebastian. Appreciate it. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good night. Let's have a fun off season. Let's go. All right. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good night.